We're live. Okay, we made it. We're live. This has been like 4 times that I've been trying to do this live video. I don't know what it is, and it's on a Windows machine. Go figure. The Mac works, the internet works, the whole thing, but I don't know. Anyway, Steve here, the retired hobby tech guy from Korea. Yeah, that's where I'm from. It's bright and early in the morning, and we are printing out 32 millimeter minis on the Creality K2 Plus, which is a big machine. So hold on. So there it is, the K2 Plus in all its glory, and we decided to do some more miniatures. We did one yesterday, and I was pretty happy with it. What we ended up doing, the top Z distance was 0.24, and on a whim, I said, well, let's print a couple more minis. And then what I ended up doing is changing that top Z distance for the supports to 0.27. So we'll see if they come off a little bit easier, and we'll just give you an update. And there it is. Talk about brand exposure. But there it is. That's what we're looking at. Let's get the top down view. It's a little noise. And this is going to take us approximately 2 hours and 12 minutes. But I think what we're going to end up doing, we're currently at 100%, but let's jack this up to ultra fast at 125. And it'll take it down to 1 hour and 45 minutes. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to put this, get it all in frame here somehow. That works. Okay, so we're going to put the camera up. We're going to leave the door open so we get a little bit of a clearer picture. And in 1 hour and 45 minutes, we should have a couple of miniatures. So with that, you can hang out and check out what's going on. I'm going to go and do some other stuff, and I'll come back, and about halfway through, we'll do an update, and then, yeah, we'll do all that. I want to try to get these printed before I go to the gym. So that's why we're doing 125%. So, alrighty. So we got Mr. Tripod here. And we will slide you all in like so. Come up here. Do that right there. Maybe we'll get this down this way. You're continuing. So you will continue on with the stream. See if we can get this a little bit up, and we'll see if we can get a little bit of ambiance into what's going on. Excuse me. Okay, so Christmas Eve. It is Christmas Eve here in Korea, so that means it's probably the 23rd back in the United States. So we got that going on. Our miniature printing thing at the 0.08 layer height at the 0.4 millimeter stock nozzle. Stock. It's a micro Swiss nozzle, but but the stock is the 0.4. So we got that going on. Welcome everybody to the stream. Let's see what we got going on. Let's answer some questions here. I wish you could size the window so that you could see this better and bigger. You can pop out the chat. Let's see if we can do that. Oh, we can do that. But can we make it bigger? And can we make the words bigger? No, we can't. Well, I guess we'll just have to deal with it as it is. Okay, some of the people that we have on today are Chill and Connect. Welcome to the stream. We got Big's Android. Says hello, everybody. Leo 2A7BK. I'm going to call you Leo. Welcome to the stream. He's dropping by and says regards from Denmark. Oh, congratulations. Good to see people from other nations and places and interested in 3D printing. Then we have Kyle Quinn, who says, going to grab a resin machine. I officially found the only one I can recommend, Uniformation GK3. He says the built-in filters are a game changer, not to mention ease of use. Yeah, that is probably one of the printers, resin printers, I highly recommend. I have the Saturn 3 Ultra, which has been great for me. It's worked out awesome. But based on the videos and what you see online, the GK3 from Unification or Uniformation or whatever, Uniformation, that is a super nice printer. The only other printer that I think would be better than that is the Haygears. But the Haygears is an expensive machine, but the supports, the automatic supports on that, insane. Matter of fact, you can use the Haygears slicing program, put your models into it, do the automatic supports, and then you can download those STLs and put them onto your resin machine. And the auto support function is bar none the best way to do it. So yeah, that's kind of the workflow that I end up doing. If I get another machine, it'll probably be a Haygears, but they're a bit expensive. The Turbo came out. I've seen varying different types of reviews on the Turbo. I'd probably just go with the regular Haygears, the one prior to that or whatever. It does everything, had less complaints. So I don't know if it's a firmware thing with the Turbo, which if it is, obviously that will be fixed over time. But that is an awesome machine as well. But, realistically, if you're looking to get into resin printing and you're not looking to blow your wad all over, the GK3 is really nice. Saturn 3 Ultra, that works really nice too. I've enjoyed it. Let's see, we got Leo says, hey, how about some smoke talk? Seeing the printer, a little Christmas Eve action. Oh, yes, you're doing that. And on these miniatures, what we're doing with these, I sized them down so that the characters are 32 millimeter in height. So, yeah, I've seen some people say, oh, I'm printing miniatures, and they're like 100 millimeters or something like that. I wanted to really replicate and say, well, if you're going to do a miniature, standard is 32 millimeters for that character. So decide to print that out and see how that goes. So we're doing two of them. And these are going to be a little bit complex. We did a previous one yesterday, which you're going to go do. Hold on. You watch the printer. I'm going to go get the figure and we'll take a look at it. Alrighty, we're back. And I gotta apologize because I'm not sure which mic we are using. I think we're using the one on the camera here, but it might be the one here as well. I'm not sure. So we'll see what happens. We got Ned Benson in. He says, happy holidays. Yeah, same to you and everybody else as well. In the United States, I just heard that the current administration made the day before Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas as holidays. So now we get long holidays. I'm all for holidays. So there is the miniature that we printed. And this is the other day. And you can see that it came out pretty good. I'm trying to, this focuses in really, really nice. And we got this came out good. I was really surprised at how well this came out. And we did have a little bit of a problem on the base there. It's like, oh crap, what happened? Well, what happened is this base, the bottom of it isn't totally flat. So what I did on these two ones that I'm printing out, it has similar bases. So I just used the planer cut to cut about halfway down on this to get rid of that uneven surface. So that way we won't have that problem. So, yeah. But other than that, I mean, like I said, I was really surprised at the detail, the level of detail that we got on this. So, yeah, I was like, wow. I mean, wow. I was really, really impressed. I thought this was going to be a little fugly. I thought it would be like, print it, but I wouldn't put it on a tabletop for tabletop gaming, or I wouldn't put it on a shelf, prime it or paint it because the quality was so low. That's what I thought would happen. But I've been pleasantly surprised that was not the case. So this was also printed at a 0.08 layer height. So that is the way to go. Let's see, what else do we got? Dylan Quinn says, tip for the base, you don't have to cut it, just positioning tool to drop it below the bed. Anything below the bed won't print. Really? That's an awesome tip. Because I've been, select the model, go to cut, do the planer, drag it down, confirm the cut, click somewhere else, click on the top of the base, move that aside, click on the bottom, delete. So, yeah, that's good to know. Awesome. That'll make the workflow a little bit easier. So, user, get the thumbs up today. It's working out pretty good. Seems to be going fine. Let's see, we got Net Vintage says, wow, impressive detail on that. I know, right? That's what I was saying. It's the easiest way to get a perfectly flat base. I'm all for that. And it's easier. So just click on the base, pull it down a little bit, hit the move. Nice. So, yeah. But interesting things that you can find out. So while on a resin printer, I had printed this and I didn't have any problems. So I found it kind of interesting that there was that little bit of uneven space on the bottom of this that it had a problem printing out. So I don't know, maybe it's Creality print, maybe there was a problem with the G code, but I figured on this one, I'll just go ahead and do that cut and kind of minimize the chances of that happening again. So hopefully, and when I was looking at, the first layer, it ends up that it turned out great. So we didn't have any problems. So apparently, whatever cutting off the part of the base in some way, shape, or form, that seemed to fix the issue. Somebody might be asking, well, besides the layer height of being 0.08, what was the infill? I used adaptive cubic, and if I'm not mistaken, it was like 8% infill and 2 walls. So we did that. Yeah, the easiest way to make a flat mix. I'm going to remember that because that is an awesome tip. Awesome tip. The other thing we're going to do is we need to prep and prime this guy. And so I think I do have some primer. Let me see what we got. Kind of do over here with our. I purchased some foam off of Amazon, and this is for my airbrush station, so I can kind of cut it and have like a little bit of a filter. So, and this is the desk that gets all the products. Everything's here. So, I got filler primer, and then I got fillable and shampoo. Because of this, from upside down. I think that is it. I think this is what we're going to end up using for the primer. Or, I don't know, I've been getting kind of lazy. Since I did those larger prints with the like the two swords that I ended up doing, the Crimson Sword and then the Frostmourne Sword, and I use spray cans for all that stuff. It's spray it and you're done. So I'm getting lazy. So yeah, I don't know. We'll take a look at that. We'll see what happens. Veritas. Hey, Veritas there from Germany. Hey, he's in Germany for the holidays. So guten Tag. Good to see you on the stream. Filler primer is best. You love to use it. Yeah. I'll give it a little. This is Mr. Veritas. This is the guy that we ended up printing as a miniature. And just to kind of go over again the details on this, at a 0.08 layer height. Again, he turned out awesome. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. This is filaments. This is Polymaker PLA, matte PLA, at a layer height of 0.08 on a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. Yeah, right? That turned out so good. So we're probably going to be doing that. I guess I could paint this now, I guess. That one looks great. If you use 0.2 millimeter nozzle, you can do some insane detail. The only issue is they tend to clog more frequently, unfortunately. We were talking about that yesterday on the different nozzle sizes. Now I've got a micro Swiss hot end on this K2 Plus, and since I changed out, I haven't had a clog since. So we did look it up online on the micro Swiss website. They have like a nozzle of 0.2, then a 0.25, and 0.3, 0.4. So I would probably go for the 0.25 because at 0.2, I mean, I don't think there would be enough perceptible change in the level of detail unless you're really, really looking for it. So I think it would still be small enough. And you could see you could probably tell a significant difference between the 0.25 nozzle and 0.4. So it's kind of like in between there, between the 4 and the 2 being the lowest. So we're gonna try to order that and give that a shot and see what happens. I'm hoping because micro Swiss nozzle, I haven't had a clog since I put that thing on here. And the first, I don't know, 300-400 hours, something like that. I can't remember. And then I put on the micro Swiss nozzle, and I've got over 1,000 hours on the K2 Plus. I haven't had any clogs in the nozzle. Zero. So I love it. We get a little boogering going on. I don't know. We'll see what happens. we might have an issue. We've got an hour left, hour and 8 minutes left. Let me show you what we got. Hold on. I'm gonna take it for a ride. Ooh. You can see the little dingleberries on that model, how it's kind of just printing out in midair. That's kind of an issue. Yeah, that doesn't look good. So I think, should I just let it run? Or should I exclude that model on the right? Because it's just printing into thin air. So the question is, should we get this in here? Come on, come on. Get in the slot. Let's see. Kyle says exclude it. You know what I might try? I might try some tape and see if I can put it in there and, I don't know, see what happens. Let's see if we can find it. We've got here. So try to jerry rig something. And it's probably only like, there it is. Just see what happens. I don't know if this will work. Worst case scenario, we can just exclude it. Let's get y'all over here, see if we can see what's going on. So, no, I don't think that's going to work. I don't know, maybe. Worked a little, it printed a little bit on there. Let's see if we can. No, that's not going to work. I don't know. That might work. So close. And the thing is, I don't know if that's oh, that might work. Let's get a closer look. Okay. I don't know. Maybe we'll keep that. We'll keep that and we'll see what happens. This is going to make for an interesting. Going to make for an interesting little thing. Will it print? Maybe. I want to see. We will see. Like you said, we'll have to wait and see on this and see on how that works out. But it's moving around a lot. That's why I was trying to get another piece of tape on there, because it is still moving. But it is printing. It's just squirrely. It might work. It might work. There's that says risky to do that with the printer running. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it will kill the printer. I actually think that's working because it's laying down plastic. We're at 41%. That's the one on the right. I'm going to go on the other computer. I got to check something. I'll be right back. But you all can watch this and keep an eye on it. And let's see how you can. We'll raise it up just a little bit. So let me go check something. I'll be right back. Now we'll see what happens here. We'll see. And I think I made a mistake. This is the character that we're supposed to be printing. And so you figure it's like from here. And so it's this part of the axe that I think the support for this part of the axe is what it's supposed to be holding up, getting about right here. So I think there's an issue with, as I did tree support slim, and I it was either the what was it? Just off the tip of my tongue. I had for on build plate only, but I didn't have support critical regions. And what was the other one? Let's see. I gotta go back and check. Okay, so let's see. So no, if you knock the head, you lose XY coordinates and you don't hurt yourself. Those motors are strong. Yeah, the slum trees I can't get to work right either. I always do the hybrid and lose two walls on the trees to not have them fail on me. Oh, okay. Let's try that. Here's what I ended up. So on the support, I put tree auto slim on build plate only, and I have removed small overhangs. So, or no, that's what I just finished making it do. And so the supports come out like that. So I should have done that there. So the thing that changed was the on build plate only, and I changed the remove. No, I had the on build plate only, and then I changed the remove small overhang, so that wasn't there. So, or that was there, and then I took it off. But interesting. That might work. So let's see, we got Barrington says, yeah, the slim trees, you can't get work. So he does hybrid and two walls on the trees to not have them fail. Okay. So I guess those only had one. I don't know, I can't tell. Of course, 0.08 layer height, the walls, they look pretty thick. I don't think that's the issue. It shows that the one wall trees always crack on me. Yeah. I wonder how many walls this has. Let me take a look. I'll put y'all back over here to monitor the progress. And then on here it says, especially if they're not going vertical because those walls are not sitting centered on top of each other. That makes sense. Alrighty. Let's see, how are we doing? We still going? I think we're doing okay. We might have fixed that problem, maybe. Yeah, that could be good. It could be good. What do you got going on? Yep. So let's see, we have done. Yeah, got to impressed with the tape support. It's all for you viewers. I mean, it's 32 millimeters. You know, if I exclude it, it's only a few cents. If I leave it and it fails, it's only a few cents. So we'll see what happens. We got George pops in, says hello. There says another one, big one was to turn off the support. Can have a different layer height than the print. That always led to problems because layer adhesion is wide for the super thick layers, or is wide for the super thick layers, or worse for the super thick layers. Okay. George says he'll be in and out baking cookies and donuts. Awesome. That's another thing we need to get is they've got a Korean oven in the apartment. It's horrible. You can't even put a full-size baking sheet in it. And the way it's shaped is you have the front, and then it goes in, and then it's rounded, but it's so small, and it's like you need a custom cookie. I swear, it's like this. It's like super small. And even we tried doing cookies, put like 5 cookies on a sheet, and some of the cookies cooked and some of the other ones didn't. Some of them didn't. So we're going to be on the market for an oven and a new induction range. So yeah, moving on up. Let's see what happens. Seems like we're doing okay. Seems like everything's level on that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. This will be interesting. Check the supports on this. So this has 2 walls for the supports, or 2 wall loops for the supports, I think. But they look a little bit thicker than that. Let me see if I can get a picture. There, we can take a look and you can see the. So it seemed pretty thick. So, and how much time do we have left? We have 51 minutes left. With that takedown one, we got a little bit of a slope on one of those pieces in the back. I don't know. It looks like from here. I don't know. The jury is out. We'll have to wait and see. Another 50 minutes. I'll have to make a profile once I get all this dialed in because this one turned out really good. But with the supports, I need to make a user profile to dial in the supports for miniatures only, and then have that as a custom profile. So that way, if I'm ever doing just miniatures, load that and everything's good to go. Some people were asking, sent me and said, hey, do you do Christmas? And it's like, nah, we don't really do Christmas. I mean, being in Korea, Christmas is a thing, but it's not like Christmas in the United States, which is like really a big thing. So it's I don't know. We don't have a Christmas tree. We don't do that. It's just me and the wife or whatever. It's like, we'll go out for coffee or something or breakfast or whatever. So, but let's see how this goes. Thursday says new range would be nice. Got cookies. Cookies are good. I could make some. I could make some awesome chocolate chip cookies. So can I. New range would be nice. Ours was bought by the guy who sold the house to us. It's all banged up. He definitely bought one that fell off the truck. There it says thick walls so help small prints because it allows the nozzle to fully prime before printing the outer wall. Ah, it's good to know. Christmas in the U.S. starts in October. It seems like right after Halloween, they start putting up, there's Thanksgiving stuff and then Christmas stuff, and it just keeps backing up further and further. I imagine one of these days, on 1 October, we will start seeing Thanksgiving and Christmas stuff. So I'll see how that goes. Yeah. It's kind of funny because I remember as a kid and as a young adult trying to buy Christmas gifts for, not so much my parents. They're toxically dysfunctional, but my grandparents. I lived with my grandparents for a while, and trying to buy them a Christmas gift was hard because they already had everything. Grandfather was working, grandma stayed at home and all that stuff. But they bought everything that they needed. So Christmas was pretty much just for the kids. And, trying to buy an adult's Christmas gifts, it's like, I never understood why my grandfather was like, you know what? I just want some underwear and socks. Give me some good socks and some good underwear or whatever, t-shirt. And it was like, Grandpa, even as an adult, I was like, I don't get that. There's something wrong in Grandpa's head that he just wants socks, or a good shirt, good t-shirt, good shirts. And now, the other day, I said the exact same thing. I want good socks. It was like, and then that boom, that flashback, and it was like, oh my gosh, my grandfather said the same thing, and now I'm saying that. Of course, I'm 59, so it was like, yeah, apparently. It comes to the place where I appreciate good socks. I will buy socks, and now it's gotten so much to where I will buy a package of socks and I'll try to get the smallest quantity possible if I don't know if I like them or not. So that way I can wear them. Then if I don't like them, I'll get rid of them and I won't be out a lot of money, or I'll just go and exchange it back. But if I find a good pair of socks, then I'll go and I'll buy 2 or 3 bags of those socks, and those will last me. So, socks and shirts. Of course, being a 3X, 4X shirt type of guy, this is a 3X shirt, and I'm filling it out pretty good. So I need to go to a 4X shirt. Let's see. Erica says, I'm definitely winning Christmas this year. I got my dad a 3D printer, and he started talking about wanting one 2 weeks after I got it, and he expects nothing. You're winning. That is good. That is pretty cool. So, yeah, who wouldn't want a 3D printer? My entire adult life, I really didn't do hobbies. I really didn't do anything creative. I was in the military, busting my ass. I was working, I was rehabbing houses, doing security systems, and then working for the state of Colorado. My hobbies were guns, ammo, blowing up stuff, and things like that. So when I retired, and of course retired here in Korea, gun ownership is pequito. It is very small, and I wouldn't be able to shoot the way that I used to shoot in the United States. For some of you who don't know, my channel used to be Safe Arms Review. And I had guns and ammo and reviews and shooting videos. I had videos where I'd shoot, move, and do courses of fire. I'll have to post one of those. I'll have to dub some copyright-free music over it to make it YouTubeable now. But it ends up, I love doing that stuff. Well, I can't do that here in Korea because gun ownership is not really a thing. I could own a gun in Korea and I could go shooting, but there's permits, there's a safety class that I would have to take and a test, which that's not a problem because I was a firearms instructor, concealed carry, military, the whole 9 yards. So that would be the problem. But once I am allowed to have a gun in Korea, I can't store it in my residence. It has to be stored in a police station. And then there's a limit on how much ammunition that you could buy per year. I think it's like 200 or 300 rounds, which in the States, when I would go out shooting for a day, I would do 200, 300, 400 rounds in a day. So if I go shoot, I'm making a day of it. I had the steel targets. I would do my own courses of fire, shoot, move, communicate. I'm running, I'm ducking, crawling, shooting, rolling around, and shooting around vehicles, the whole 9 yards. I can't do that here. So I needed to find another hobby, painting miniatures. I know they're almost on the opposite ends of the spectrum, but the miniatures I was painting was like Warhammer 40K. So it's kind of guns and blowing up things, and the Imperium of Man, and no mercy for the wicked, kind of that thing. So that's what got me into that, which got me into resin printing, and then now 3D printing and doing bigger stuff. So yeah, we'll see how it is. Interesting. Have you finished up on the bases? The bases are finished. We're still going on the characters. See, good. Y'all are getting seasick. It's like, so the tape thing worked. Therapist says that he did his gift for his father, the 3D printer, but he put his mom's name on it so he doesn't suspect anything. That's cool. George says he could go through 500 rounds in a day. I'm right there with you. And I go shooting multiple times a month. How much time we got left on this? We've got 42 minutes, maybe. Now, these are some pretty intricate models. These two guys. We got one with the axe and we got one with the hammer. So I want to show you the two characters that we're doing. So the one on the right that we're seeing there is this guy here. And where we have the tape, I think, is right under here. So that's the one we're trying to salvage, to try to salvage the axe. We might have actually done that. Of course, this is resin printed, but the details on this are insane. I don't know if we'll get some of this because, like, the chains on the back, it's unsupported. I mean, it's supported, but it's stacked up, so it might come out. This will be a real good test to see how this works. The base looks really good on this one, on the machine. And then the other one is this one here. So you can see this has got a lot of details. And the interesting thing will be the fingers. Of course, the staff, which is a little bit bigger, but at 32 millimeters high, this is going to be really thin. So I'm kind of wary about how that's going to look. But the rest of this isn't too bad. I mean, this is a pretty solid, safe model. And the supports that you need are not that crazy. So I'm just kind of wondering about, like, this stuff up here. You know, you've got these little swords and stuff that I don't think those are going to print out. So I think we're going to be pushing the K2 Plus in regards to how both of these are going to turn out. So, yeah, these are frost giants. So this one's not too bad, but a lot of detail. Again, a lot of detail on these guys. That is just going to be, it'll be interesting to see how these turn out. So I think we're doing okay. We're still doing good. This is asking the question. I dropped the mini. No. I'm not going to focus. I broke in. The table jiggling. Now the question is, where did the staff go? There it is. So we're going to have to do the UV thing again. Since this is jiggling and this fell off, I'm going to take these guys. I'm going to put these back in the office. I'll be right back. That's the only problem. The K2 Plus at 125% speed, it rocks. It rocks with the big one. And this is pretty damn sturdy. So I think we'll get our green stuff rolled UV resin. And then we have our UV light pen. I'll see if we can fix this mini. Oh, what was it? The question? Ferris is asking, the white on the dark filament looks really nice, lots of contrast. Is that just filler primer? What I ended up doing is painting, I primed them black, and then I did the white zenithal on it. So that way I can kind of keep the shadows, the shadow effects, and try to get a gradient look when I do the painting on it. So it should look really good on speed paints when I use that. So let's see, it says slim support and 125% speed. I know. I did the 100% on this guy. This one I decided to do a little bit faster. because I wanted to get this done before we went to the gym because I didn't manage my time properly. So I decided to do the 125% and we'll see how that goes. So now, oh no, I think his arm broke too. Seriously. Seriously. Oh, there's a couple of broken areas on here. Oh, really? We will rebuild him. Oh, and his arm is a little. Boy, he took a big tumble. Good thing for UV resin. Just don't drop it again. So, if PLA, you drop a miniature and it breaks, should we make miniatures out of carbon fiber or TPU? Can you make a miniature out of TPU? I've never printed TPU yet. Okay, that's good. And my that's good. Oh, certified. Seriously. It's fish now working well. Get down here. Okay, we're getting there. Yeah, I'm getting there. So we had a break up there. Got a couple breaks there. Got a break down there. It's a little crooked. And then under his arm, we have that there. So. We're good. that teaches me I gotta be careful on what I put on this table, because with the rock and roll and stuff does have a tendency to travel. So, yeah. We're going to put this guy back on the desk. I'll be right back. Alrighty. We'll do some filler on him. I guess I could do that too. See, we got some questions. Let's see. It says slump support 125% speed. Cookie sheet change. George is on his finishing up his first trade. He's going to be doing another one. TPU would be fun. I'm thinking about doing TPU just to try it. I've never done that. And of course, you need the spool holder, and it can't run in through the PTFE tube, so it would have to come in from above. And I've been looking at a new riser system that would it looks a lot better than what this is. I tried to go very minimal on this, but there's another riser system that I could get, that I could print out, that looks a hell of a lot nicer. And you would have a mount for a spool that you can do TPU and feed it through the top. And it has a little bit more storage, and it just looks way more professional. I can't remember the name of it. It's on a saved browser or whatever on my computer, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I think we lost a little bit at the bottom of the axe there. We got about 32 minutes left. 32. Ferriton says he runs his 95A TPU through the PTFE tube on the side spool holder, no problem. Really? Oh. But you unspool it though, so the extruder doesn't have to turn the spool by itself. Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering about. But I do have this thing. I can get it out from under here, or out of here. I picked up this Creality spool thing, and it's got the bearings, you know, the metal steel bearings and all that stuff. And this thing spins like crazy. Can you see that? But when I use this with the in lieu of the side spool holder, I just ran the reel off of this. And what happened, this spun so freely that when it was pulling filaments, this would pull and the spool would unroll and have too much, and then it go off the reel or off the spool and get caught up on the side. So when it did catch up, it stopped the print. So this would be good for TPU 95, that's for sure, or 95A TPU. So with that, what company do you use with that? What company's TPU do you buy from? Is I guess what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Barrett says, I have old Ninja Flex TPU from 2016. Okay. So you've been printing for a minute. That's why I like Veritas. He's been in the game for a long time, and he's got some really good tips and hints and tricks and all that stuff. But the riser system that I saw, I think it's like $10. I think I saw it on Maker World. The guy makes it for a variety of different machines, and he's got one for the Creality K2 Plus. It really looks nice. Has vent system on the top. Definitely, gives it room so that tube on your, doesn't hit the glass top. You can store some plates in there. It has plate storage. You can put your CFS there. It has a couple of storage things that you can put on one side or the other. But the base unit is $10, and all the different parts that you can add to it are all free. So, and that's on MakerWood. So I'm seriously thinking about doing that, because it looks cooler. And then when I started thinking about doing TPU, I was like, hey, that's got a TPU reel that you can put right here. It feeds right in. Seemed to work out pretty good. So Veritas says, never really had a use for TPU, but it prints so nice on the K2 Plus. Now that I can actually do some usable items from that. I would be into, yeah, I mean, I don't think I would use it. So on a regular basis, so it kind of might be like you, buy one spool and I would hang on to it for like a super long time. Veritas says his favorite filament is still the Creality polycarbonate film. Super tough, prints super easy, looks really nice. I'll have to pick up a roll of that. I hate getting old. I have bifocals. So when you see me doing this, looking at something, it's like, okay, far here, far here. And then it's transition. So it's not like a line bifocal like real old people. I'm just semi-old people. So yeah, it's still trying. I got a new prescription. I'm still trying to get used to it. So Veritas says polycarbonate from Creality is super cheap, like $19 a spool. Inventive says, yes, print CPU on the to-do list for sure. Not old, seasoned. Yes, seasoned. Salt and pepper, seasoning. So, yes, seasoned. Yeah, see how long I can be seasoned. We'll see how that goes. We got about 27 minutes left. I think, what I might do is get that other figure. And since I've got this, we'll kind of do that. And now, I don't know if I want to do them in black first and then do a zenithal with a white. Because I do have black primer. Automotive primer. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do the black primer on that mini, and then I'll come back and we'll do white zenithal. I think I have some white. Maybe. Oh, do I have white? Now that's clear. Back here. I don't have white. I don't have white. I have an almond gloss enamel, which we're going to use this on the Warhammer axe. So maybe Maybe we'll end up just doing black primer, and then we'll use the kind of the gray primer, or I could just dry brush it after I prime it black. I think I'll go that route. So let's grab that mini. And what we'll end up doing is we grab this guy. And lost enamel, and there it is. We'll do our Rust-Oleum primer. Parents, he said, just keep going to the gym. That'll ward off the old for a good while. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be one of those old people that are skinny and, you know, they blow over and a stiff wind goes by. So, I don't know if we can get a shot of the spray booth. I know, really excited. All right, it's time for physical. At over 50 physical. So we're going to need you to bend over. You might feel a little bit of pressure. Let that go. And let's see, we will continue on. It's kind of a shiny black. But I think when we do a white zenithal, I'll pull out the airbrush for that, or I think I'll just dry brush it. I think we'll get some good coverage on that. It's got a lot of ridges, a lot of details that'll pop with that dry brushing. And we got about 22 minutes left. Interesting, interesting. This is the 0.08 layer height. That's pretty small. Pretty small. Erica says, so it's Germany and it's midnight around here, which means bedtime. Merry Christmas. Eat today. Good seeing you. You as well. Have happy holidays for you and your family. Have some good food. German bratwurst. Go get it. I missed your food. Enjoy the holidays. That is for sure. Let me go back and see how much these miniatures are as far as cost. Printed in PLA. And let me find out the price. You see the axe there on the right-hand side. Okay, for these two miniatures with the bases and the characters, everything that you see in frame here is going to be 33 cents. Yeah, including the supports, 33 cents. Go price some Warhammer miniatures. Yeah, it's and do it by, I guarantee you it won't be 33 cents. Resin printing would probably be about, I don't know, depending on the resin you get, it maybe be 15, 20 cents, 17 cents, something like that. He said we're doing pretty good. Supposedly 20 minutes left. We're running at 125% speed, so we're kind of pushing it. But it seems we're doing pretty good. Our little tape thing there seems to be working. Yeah, I got to go run. I got to run to the facilities and complete a task or two, and I will be back. So if you got any questions or comments, suggestions, tips, put them in there, and we'll address them when I get back. Alrighty, we are back. We got about 15 minutes left. Let's see how this goes. A little bit of a close-up review. Closer view. So yeah, we're pushing the envelope on this a little bit. See, we had to jury rig some tape on there for support, and I think that's because we were going 125%. Using Polymaker PLA, so you're getting there. You're getting there. It says 13 minutes, but this has kind of been off and on as far as the estimates and the time. Sometimes it's 5 minutes later, so it's off by 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes. It depends on the size of the print. But of course, it is going to take a while because it is 0.08 layer height, which is super small. But the nozzle is 0.4 on the K2 Plus. We got a micro Swiss hot end on there, but the layer heights are small. Thinking about getting micro Swiss does have a smaller nozzle. I think they have the brass nozzles. We checked those out. They're like $16 a pop. They had 0.02 or no 0.2, 0.25, and 0.3, and then of course the 0.4. So I'm thinking about getting the 0.25 if I do more minis, and maybe have a dedicated mini thing for FDM. Because this, depending on the quality and how it turns out, like I said, what we ended up doing is we look over there. We've got our miniature that's sitting right there that we primed in black. And then we'll do a paint comparison and see how that turns out with a resin model print. Okay, get you back in here. Come on, fit. There we go. So yeah, of course, resin printing is always going to be better for details compared to FDM printing. But really, I was surprised at the level of detail that we could get off the standard 0.4 nozzle at a layer height of 0.08. I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed. So if you're not a hobby snob and you just want some decent miniatures, you can print it on your FDM printer, which is kind of cool. Yeah, K2 Plus. Wow. I just need to do some tests and save a profile of just doing miniatures, because some of the settings for your supports are going to make a difference. So you just need to run through those, slice it, look at where the supports are, and top feed this in 0.24 seems to work really well. And you'll be good to go. Let's see if we can get that online here. So here it is, and it's still kind of dark. And of course, let's see if we can get a better light. Now that is what we end up getting. And I have to say, the details are really good. So I'm pretty impressed with the level of detail on this. So yeah, we'll let this guy dry. And then what we'll end up doing is putting we'll put a zenithal, white zenithal on it, and then we'll do the Army painter speed paints, and we'll see how that goes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you all go, put you close up and personal so that you can watch the print. I'm going to get my gym bag ready, and then hopefully by that time I get cleaned up, ready for the gym, come back. Hopefully this will be done. So you'll take a watch and guard the machine as I get ready. And yeah, let's see how this goes. All righty, we're coming up on the home stretch. Supposedly 1 minute. Supposedly, we will see. It says 1 minute, 94% done, but now it just says 0. Yeah, estimation time's a little off. We're getting there. One of them is done, but this guy still need a head and the top part of his hammer. So it says 95% done. I'll be done with this. Yeah, it says we got 4 minutes left. %, almost there. We have a little support issue popping up. 98%. And we're 100%. There it is, folks. What we did. 2 hours and 33 minutes at 14 grams. So, there it is, finished it. And this came out to, what's it, 33 cents, 35 cents. So we can see that there. I don't know. So I apologize for the poor lighting, but let's see what we got there. Not bad. We'll do a separate video where we'll take these off the build plate, and our little tape thing there actually worked to some degree. Should have done it earlier, but yeah, interesting. So the next video we'll do after I get back from the gym, we'll be taking this off the build plate and we'll remove the supports with better attention to detail than what I did with the other one. So I don't cut off any of their pieces and parts. So, okay. Alrighty then. So that is going to be it. We've got another successful print that we got going on. So thank you for all the likes on the video. For the few people that are watching, I appreciate it. Like and subscribe to the channel, because in a few hours from now, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 hours, somewhere around there, we'll come back and we'll be in the paint studio, the brush studio, where we have better lighting, and we'll take the supports off and we'll see how this looks compared to the resin printed ones. Yeah, so this will be a thing. Alrighty, so with that being said, happy holidays to everybody out there. Appreciate you watching the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace. Alrighty, good. Crisis averted.